Many modern web services that work with JSON format look for parameters that are formatted in JSON as well. They receive JSON and respond with JSON. And so you'll need to know how to encode your parameters in JSON format to send that to the server. Fortunately, the process is only a little different than a standard POST request. In fact, a JSON request is a POST request most of the time. You're just formatting the parameters in the body of the request a little bit differently. To demonstrate this, I've added another file to my server, and I've also included a copy in the exercise files under Assets PHP. It's named RESTful JSON. This is the simple PHP script. It looks for a parameter named params, and you'll need to know this to appropriately send the request to the server. It expects the parameter that's associated with that name to be a JSON formatted packet, and it takes that packet and passes it through the JSON function JSON decode. It returns a set of parameters, and each parameter has a key and a value just as before. So again, this script is not a full-blown web service, but it's minimal code to show you how JSON might be parsed on a server. Here's the code you'll need to send the data to the server in the format that it expects. I'm working in a version of my project called jsonparams, and I'll start in the main activity. I'll change the URI, the page that I'm sending the request to. This is on line 51 of the main activity class. Instead of sending the request to restful.php, I'll send it to restfuljson.php. And that's the only change I'll need to make in my main activity. Now I'll go to the HTTP Manager class. This is where I'm making my HTTP request. And I'll start right here, after setting the request method, but before writing the parameters to the request body. I'll create an instance of the JSON object class, and I'll name it JSON. I'll instantiate it by calling the constructor method for the class, but then I'll pass in an object that can be serialized into JSON format. And specifically, I'll use my map of parameters that's contained within my request package. I'll get that value by calling p.getParams. That returns my map of parameters. And that's all you need to do to take a complex map of objects and turn it into JSON format. Now remember, the PHP script is expecting a JSON packet with a name of params. So I'll create a new string that I'll name params, and I'll start it with params equals. And then I'll append to that JSON.toString. And now I have a value that I can send to the server. I'll go down here to where I'm writing the parameters to the request body. And instead of calling the package's getEncodedParams method, I'll pass in the new params object. And now I'm writing the params object to the request body, including the prefix params equals and the JSON packet. I'll save the changes and test the code. When I click the action bar item, I successfully get back the response, parsed from JSON. Now here's an interesting thing. Now that you're using JSON, you don't necessarily need to work with strings as values. JSON knows how to serialize and keep the types of numeric, Boolean, and other data types. And so you could add new features to the app at this point and store your parameters as typed values instead of always as simple strings. So that's a look at how to send data to the server formatted in JSON. Again, you'll find that many modern web services expect this. You don't have control over it, it's up to the web service, but take a look at the web service documentation. And if the web service expects JSON formatted parameters, you now have the tools to accomplish it.